WWE's Apex Predators!
Randy Orton's WWE career has been nothing short of a roller coaster, marked by an impressive ascent to the top of the industry followed by an equally evident gradual decline. At the peak of his career, Orton was one of the most dominant and feared competitors in WWE, a master of psychological warfare inside the squared circle. His ability to manipulate his opponents with an unblinking cold stare and the snap of his RKO made him a household name, a fixture in main event programs, and a fan favorite despite his villainous persona. Yet in recent years, the bright spotlight that once shone so brightly on him has dimmed, revealing a troubling pattern of injury struggles, inconsistent booking, and shifting industry dynamics that have gradually pushed him out of the forefront of WWE programming. Once hailed as the Viper, a nickname that symbolized his methodical, calculated, and lethal approach to in-ring combat, Orton's presence in the WWE universe has diminished. What was once an imposing figure, known for his cerebral wrestling style and bone-crushing finishing move, now seems to lack the bite that made him such a dangerous force. The slow, deliberate pacing of his matches, which once captivated audiences and drew them into a psychological game, no longer seems to resonate with a younger generation of fans who crave faster-paced, high-energy bouts. As WWE's programming evolves to meet the demands of an ever-changing audience, Orton's once revered style has started to feel like a relic of the past. A major contributing factor to Orton's recent decline can be traced to the injuries that have plagued him throughout his career. Professional wrestling is a physically demanding sport, and no one knows that better than Orton, whose body has been a battleground for years. The list of injuries he's sustained, ranging from troublesome shoulder issues to debilitating back problems and even concussions, has taken its toll on his ability to perform consistently at the top level. When a wrestler of Orton's stature is constantly battling the physical consequences of a demanding schedule, it becomes increasingly difficult to maintain the momentum needed to remain at the top of the card. WWE's grueling travel schedule, coupled with a workload that often requires a wrestler to perform night after night, has proven to be unforgiving on Orton's body. Over the years, his injuries have led to extended absences from the ring. Each time Orton's return seemed imminent, the prospect of a major push or a storyline that could reignite his career seemed to evaporate as yet another injury forced him out of action. These recurring setbacks have not only halted his momentum repeatedly, but have also made it difficult for WWE to keep him at the forefront of major storylines. When Orton finally seems primed for a major push, injury strikes again, forcing the company to rework plans and move forward without him. This inconsistency has prevented him from establishing himself as the dominant force he once was, and WWE's inability to keep him in a high-profile position over the years has been a contributing factor to his gradual fade from prominence. In addition to his physical challenges, Orton's downfall has been exacerbated by WWE's inconsistent booking of his character. Once a staple of WWE main events, Orton has been relegated to mid-card feuds or sporadic appearances in uninspiring storylines. The days of Orton engaging in compelling rivalries with icons like John Cena, Triple H, and The Undertaker, feuds that captured the imagination of fans and brought mainstream attention to the product, seem like a distant memory. In their place have come lackluster programs that fail to capture the same level of audience investment. Whether it's been his feuds with younger, less established stars or run-ins with irrelevant mid-card acts, Orton's recent storylines have lacked depth, direction, and the kind of heat that once made him a must-watch competitor. WWE's shifting focus towards promoting younger, fresher talent has further complicated Orton's standing in the company. He has found himself in an awkward middle ground, too established to be a fresh face that excites the crowd, but not quite legendary enough to command the special attraction status that part-time stars like Brock Lesnar enjoy. The WWE Universe has shifted its attention toward the rising stars like Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and Cody Rhodes, each of whom has embraced a more dynamic and adaptable style. Their ability to evolve and grow with the times has positioned them as the future of WWE. Meanwhile, Orton has found himself in a frustrating position of stagnation, as his cold, calculating persona, while once captivating, has become predictable and repetitive. As much as Orton's character work remains understated and subtly brilliant, his lack of evolution over the past few years has become glaringly evident. WWE's modern storytelling relies on characters evolving and reinventing themselves to remain relevant in an ever-changing wrestling landscape. Orton, on the other hand, has stayed largely the same. A stoic, no-nonsense wrestler who performs his signature moves and cuts short, efficient promos. But in an era where superstars like Rollins and Reigns continue to evolve and expand their characters, Orton's approach, though still effective, feels outdated. In comparison to the fast-paced, high-energy action that has become synonymous with modern WWE, Orton's slower, more methodical in-ring style feels out of place in the current atmosphere. The rise of independent and international wrestling styles, characterized by high spots, innovative offense, and relentless pacing, has left Orton's more traditional style lagging behind. Orton's decline has been further magnified by WWE's heavy reliance on part-time talent. Stars like The Rock, Goldberg, and John Cena, who pop in for occasional appearances to fill the spotlight with marquee matchups. While these part-timers undoubtedly generate massive ratings and excitement, their presence has resulted in fewer opportunities for full-time veterans like Orton. The company's focus on spectacle-driven events and short-term booking has left little room for Orton to have the kind of extended, meaningful storylines that would re-establish him as a main event player. Instead, he has been relegated to lower-profile matches or, in some cases, left entirely off the WrestleMania card in favor of the newest flavor of the month. This sharp decline in his presence at WWE's biggest stage, once a staple of his career, further emphasizes his diminishing status within the company. To make matters worse, Orton's backstage attitude has often worked against him. Though he has matured significantly from his early years, when he was known for his reckless behavior and strained relationships with management, he still maintains a reputation for being difficult to work with at times. Orton's frustration with his position within WWE has sometimes manifested in a less than enthusiastic approach to his work, leading some to believe that he is coasting through his matches rather than pushing for new creative opportunities. In contrast to the hungry, innovative superstars who strive to leave their mark, Orton has often been viewed as a veteran who simply fills his role without showing the same passion and fire that he once did. WWE's creative team may see Orton as reliable. He delivers solid, competent matches, but the lack of excitement around his character has contributed to his fading presence in major storylines. Another factor in Orton's struggle to stay relevant is the shift in audience expectations. His methodical, slow-paced approach once felt like a masterclass in-ring psychology, but in the era of instant gratification, fans now expect non-stop action, high-flying moves, and jaw-dropping spots. The likes of Rollins, Reigns, and Rhodes have embraced the modern style of wrestling, blending athleticism, creativity, and fast-paced action to capture the audience's attention. Orton, though still a technically sound performer, often appears out of step with this shift in audience preference. While he remains one of the smoothest in-ring performers, his style now lacks the wow factor that fans have come to expect from top-level competitors. Orton's inability to form lasting tag teams or factions in recent years has also been a significant setback. Though he briefly found success as part of the RK-Bro duo alongside Riddle, the partnership was short-lived and ultimately fizzled out due to Orton's recurring injuries. Unlike other veterans who have found success transitioning into new roles within the company, whether as tag team specialists, faction leaders, or mentoring figures, Orton has largely remained a lone wolf. This has limited his creative avenues, making it harder for WWE to find compelling ways to use him in storylines. His lack of consistent partnerships or meaningful alliances has contributed to his decline in relevance, as WWE has often struggled to find fresh angles to showcase him. Orton's personal motivation has also been called into question. While some wrestlers remain vocal about their desire for success, Orton has often expressed his comfort in his position. He has spoken openly about his confidence in his legacy, and while that confidence is admirable, it has led some to believe that he no longer has the same hunger to push himself to new heights. Passion is a key ingredient to a wrestler's longevity, and when that passion fades, so does the audience's interest. Orton's seeming contentment with coasting through his career has contributed to the dwindling excitement around his appearances. As WWE continues to develop new stars, Orton has found himself at a crossroads. The rise of NXT and younger talent breaking into the main roster has forced veterans like him to step aside to make room for the next generation. While some wrestlers have embraced their roles as elder statesmen, helping guide and mentor the next crop of talent, Orton has struggled to find his place in this evolving landscape. The lack of significant moments at WrestleMania and the absence of meaningful feuds have left him in a limbo, unable to find a way to remain relevant in a rapidly changing industry. One of the biggest reasons why Orton may consider retirement now is his health. His history of back issues, especially the well-documented spinal problems, poses a significant concern. The wear and tear of Orton's body, sustained over years of grueling matches and travel, has taken its toll. At this stage in his career, pushing further could result in permanent damage that affects his quality of life long after he's hung up his boots. Wrestling is a physically demanding business, and the toll it takes on an athlete's body should not be underestimated. Another compelling reason for Orton to retire is that he has already done it all. He has won multiple world championships, claimed a Royal Rumble victory, headlined WrestleMania, and feuded with some of the greatest names in wrestling history. His legacy in the industry is undeniable. Continuing to wrestle at this point adds little to his already legendary resume. Instead, it risks diminishing his standing, as the longer he stays active, the more his presence may be seen as redundant or stale. Retiring now would allow Orton to leave on his own terms, cementing his legacy as one of the greats without the risk of becoming a shadow of his former self. From a financial perspective, Orton has earned more than enough over the course of his illustrious career. He doesn't need to continue wrestling for financial reasons. With wise investments and careful financial management, he can comfortably enjoy life post-wrestling. Orton's legacy is secure, and there is little need to risk his health for a few more years in the ring.